Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I'd just taken a sip of burnt office coffee when my phone buzzed on the corner of my desk. Unknown number. I almost let it ring out, but something in my gut made me swipe to answer. Hello. This is Louise. A pause crackled through the line before a gravelly voice answered. Ms. Franklin. Name's Martin DuPont. I run Riverside Pawn and Gold. The thing is, I knew your father, and he helped me a lot once. This is about the Rolex watch that was brought to the pawn shop yesterday. Engraved on the back, to my daughter Louise, may time always be on your side. Love, Dad. My heart lurched. After my father's death, I never parted with my father's gift. The watch. I quickly opened my purse, but the box with the watch was not there. The velvet box holding Dad's Rolex always gave me comfort during long work days. My hand trembled. That's impossible, I breathed. It was here, yesterday. Someone brought it in to sell. I don't want to get into it on the phone. You'd better come, Miss Franklin. I slammed my laptop shut, mumbling an excuse to my manager as I bolted through the cubicle maze. Outside, the cold air stung my cheeks, but it couldn't numb the dread coiling in my gut. It had to be Rosie, sweet, perfect Rosie, my stepsister who always seemed to have another big idea, but never the money to make it real. When I pushed open the pawn shop's squeaky door, Martin looked up from behind glass counters crowded with tarnished silver and dusty trinkets. He was older than I'd pictured, with a thick gray beard and eyes that seemed too kind for a man who bought other people's desperation. You, Louise? You look just like your dad. He was a good man. Martin's voice softened. Who brought the watch? I asked, voice low. He hesitated. Your sister? Rosie, right? Said it was hers. I knew something was off. I felt my hands ball into fists. Dad's watch. The last thing he pressed into my palm as he lay fading. Martin reached beneath the counter, sliding the familiar leather box across to me. You need to see something else, Louise. That watch has a secret your family didn't know about. I stared at him, pulse thudding. A secret? Outside, the afternoon sun dipped lower, and I knew my life was about to split wide open. Martin set the battered Rolex on a velvet cloth, his fingers surprisingly gentle. The pawn shop felt smaller now, crowded with old guitars, wedding rings in dusty glass cases, tiny monuments to desperation. I've been in this business 30 years, Martin said, eyes locked on mine. I've seen plenty of family heirlooms come and go, but this one, your dad would have never let it out of his sight if he were still here. My throat burned as I brushed my fingers over the inscription. May time always be on your side. Dad's words echoed in my head. Martin pressed a tiny catch on the watch's side, a piece I'd never noticed. With a soft click, the back popped open. Inside, tucked impossibly tight, was a scrap of yellowed paper. My breath hitched as I unfolded it. Lou, if you're reading this, something happened to the watch. Get the key from my toolbox, inside the old green level. First National, Box 322. It's your future. Trust yourself. Love, Dad. I looked up and Martin's face was all soft edges. Your father once saved this place, he said. Helped me fix my roof for next to nothing and made the remaining mortgage payment when the bank threatened foreclosure. So I'm not taking a dime for this. Considered him looking out for you again. I swallowed the knot in my throat. Thank you, Martin. Really. Back home, dusk blowed through the kitchen blinds as I tiptoed past Rosie's boxes, the graveyard of her failed candle startup, untouched since last year. In the garage, Dad's old toolbox waited under a tarp, right where I'd hidden it after Mom wanted it tossed. Inside, nestled inside the level's bubble chamber, was a tiny brass key. I clutched it so tight it pressed a crescent into my palm. First thing the next morning, I stood in First National's cold, echoing vault. The safe deposit box slid open to reveal 3 things. A stack of bearer bonds thick as my wrist in the amount of $170,000, a battered leather journal, and a note in Dad's looping hand. He'd left me more than a watch. He'd left me a fight worth winning, and I knew exactly who I'd be fighting. I stood at the threshold of the kitchen, clutching Dad's watch in my pocket like a weapon. The morning sun spilled over Rosie and my mother, both hunched over the breakfast table scattered with papers. Her so-called business plan, no doubt. They looked up at me as if I'd interrupted some royal council. Rosie's smile was too sweet, too sharp. "Louise, everything okay?" she asked, feigning concern. I stepped forward and set the velvet box between them with a quiet thud. "Recognize this?" My mother's eyes darted to Rosie, then back to me. "Where did you get that?" she asked, voice tight. "Martin gave it back to me, the pawn shop owner. Funny thing, Rosie. Did you think I wouldn't find out?" Rosie rolled her eyes, twirling a pen between her fingers. "Lou, it's just a watch. I needed a little seed money, that's all. It was the only thing Dad left me." I snapped, my voice cracking like glass. "The only thing that was mine." My stepfather Richard appeared in the doorway, arms folded over his chest like a fortress. "Let's not overreact. We're family. Families share." "Then why didn't you pawn your vintage whiskey collection, Richard? Or Rosie's designer handbags? Why steal from me?" Rosie leaned back smirking, "Because you just hoard things you don't even use. You sit on money and time while the rest of us try to build something bigger." I laughed, one bitter bark. "Bigger? Like your candle company that went up in smoke? Or your boutique app idea that never got past a logo?" My mother flinched, her eyes pleading. "Rosie has vision, Louise. She's always had potential. You have your stable job. You don't need." "Don't need what? What's mine?" My voice dropped low. "Remember forever that these are my things and they are inviolable. No one has the right to take them away, let alone sell them. And if you steal anything else from me, I'll file charges for theft." Richard's lips twitched into a smirk. "You'd ruin your own family?" "No," I said, meeting Rosie's cold stare. "You already did that for me." I left the kitchen that day shaking with rage, but something in me had clicked into place, like a lock finally turning. The next morning, I sat across from Claudia Wren, a sharp-eyed estate lawyer who smelled faintly of coffee and victory. She flipped through Dad's ledger with a low whistle. "Your father kept immaculate records. These unpaid debts, they're still enforceable. And the bonds are clean, easy to liquidate." I watched her scribble notes, my pulse steady for the first time in days. "They think I'm bluffing," I said. "They think I'm weak." Claudia looked up, her red lipstick curling into a grin. "Good. People like that always underestimate the quiet ones." Over the next weeks, letters went out to every name in Dad's journal. Contractors who'd shrugged him off when he was sick now coughed up checks overnight, some out of guilt, some out of fear of a lawsuit. Each envelope that arrived felt like a piece of Dad coming back to me. One night, I came home to find Mom waiting by the door, arms crossed, her face creased with false worry. "Louise, please. Rosie's under so much pressure. We just need a bit more time." I shook my head, cutting her off. "Time? That's rich coming from you. Dad's watch, Dad's money, you'd all sell my blood if you could." "Don't do this," she pleaded. "We're family." "Then you should have acted like it." I turned away as she called my name again, her voice cracking, but it was too late for apologies wrapped in excuses. By month's end, Claudia wired me the final recovered debt, over $200,000. I signed a contract and bought a small cottage across town the next day. I packed my father's toolbox first. The watch went into my purse, ticking steady like a promise. For the first time in years, I slept without the door locked. A year later, my cottage smells like fresh paint and brewing coffee, not stale betrayal. Dad's watch sits on my wrist each morning, ticking like a heartbeat I refuse to waste. Over the course of a year, with the help of a lawyer, I collected $4,900 from my toxic family, which they had received from a pawn shop for my father's watches. I ended up giving it to Martin, as he needed it more than I did at the time. One rainy afternoon, Rosie showed up at my door, mascara smudged, desperation painted across her perfect face. "Louise, I need help. My new startup." I leaned against the doorframe, feeling the soft hum of Dad's watch on my pulse. "You mean you need my money? Again?" Her voice cracked. "It's family, Lou. We should support each other." I held her gaze steady as stone. "You sold my father's memory for pocket change. You'll always sell what isn't yours. Not this time." She tried to push past me, but I blocked the doorway. "Go home, Rosie. Or whatever place you've managed to ruin this month." For the first time, her eyes showed fear. Fear that I'd finally stopped playing savior. She turned away, swallowed by the rain. I closed the door and let out a breath. My cottage was quiet again, safe. Dad's old toolbox sat in my tiny garage, the green level tucked inside, a reminder that good work lasts. I glanced at my watch, it's ticking steady and true. Time. The only thing that was really mine all along, and now I'd spend it on a life that couldn't be stolen piece by piece. Dad gave me the time. I chose to keep it.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.